Hi everyone, I'm Deirdra. Most people who've studied biblical Christianity have heard of the 12 disciples of Jesus. But have you heard of the female disciples? These women are recognized in the New Testament and are told that because of their works and discipleship, that their names are written in the book of life. These are some of the women who served and labored alongside the apostles of the church in early Christianity. In the book of Acts, the first lady who the Bible refers to as a disciple is Tabitha. She lived in an Israeli coastal town. One of her personal ministries was that of charity. Specifically, she used her talents as a clothing maker to help clothe the naked. After she died, she was placed into a sepulchre. Later, the Apostle Peter resurrected her so she could continue her mission of ministering to the poor. The next disciple is Priscilla. She teaches us about equality and unity in marriage and family. Whenever she is mentioned, it is in unity with her spouse, in equality in their work and their mission. They worked together as tent makers and hosted the Apostle Paul while he was proselyting in Corinth. Priscilla and her husband also taught the gospel as couple missionaries. Because Priscilla was elevated to an equal by her husband, this empowered her to boldly teach the gospel and to correct what the Bible calls mighty men. She even taught a man who would later become one of the apostles. Something also culturally unique to Priscilla was that although she was a Jew, she loved and taught the Gentiles. The Catholic Church celebrates her feast day on July 8th. The disciple Lydia teaches us about faith. She was most likely a Greek Macedonian, even though she lived in a Roman settlement. She was a well-to-do merchant of purple dye and a free woman who enjoyed a social status that offered her freedom in her community and in her home. She was a woman of spirituality and faith, and when she heard the apostles teaching the gospel of Jesus, she asked to be baptized. After this, she asked that the apostles stay with her, and she helped to support them in their ministry and considered it a privilege to care for them. Lydia's house became a gathering place for the saints and new converts where they could be taught. Lydia is considered the first European Christian convert. In the Catholic Church, Lydia's feast day is August 3rd. Another trusted disciple was Phoebe. She helped to deliver epistles and was declared an emissary to the church in Rome. Paul refers to her as both a deacon, a sister, and a servant of the church when listing her credentials to new communities where the gospel was emerging. She is also praised for her charitable work and her service to the church. When describing the qualities that the office holders called deacons must possess, Paul wrote what is Greek translated to be likewise the women, and indicated that women deacons were to live according to the same standards as the men deacons. They are to be worthy of respect, not malicious talkers, but temperate and trustworthy in everything. Today, the ministry of a deaconess is a non-ordained ministry for women in some Protestant churches to provide pastoral care, especially for other women. Eunice and Lois teach us about the powerful influence of righteous mothers and grandmothers. In the book of Timothy, these women are honored for raising the Apostle Timothy in faith. Eunice was married, but we know that she was essentially alone in many aspects of her marriage, including that of religion and faith. It appears that there was little support from her husband and that the additional support in child rearing and gospel teaching came from her mother Lois. There are so many women who are raising children as single mothers or women who are married but still alone or not supported by their spouse in many aspects of raising children. These ladies who raised an apostle are proof that these moms and grandmas who are on their own can still be successful. Claudia was another woman who was a Roman Christian. She is considered one of the chief and honorable Gentile women who was a member of old Roman heritage. She was influential in supporting the early church in Rome, and she was among the devout women who greatly encouraged the apostles. Rhoda was a young woman who teaches us about ministry and in testifying of living apostles and church leaders called by God. A somewhat humorous part of her story is when she heard Peter's voice outside her gate, she ran and told all in her house. In her excitement, she forgot to let Peter in through the gate while she ran off to declare his arrival. Other women who labored much in the Lord, supported the spread of the gospel, and strengthened members and encouraged the apostles in their work are Persis, Tryphena, Tryphosa, Apphia, and Mary. In studying the works, missions, and virtues of these women in early ancient church, I found a really cool correlation to the Relief Society Declaration. The Relief Society is one of the oldest and largest women's organizations in the world, and they perform many of the exact same works as these early Christian female disciples. If you would like to learn more about the Relief Society, I will include a link to their website below and a link to the Declaration.